Hi, second grade. Mrs. Houts here, and welcome to religion class. Today is September 10th, 2020. Please take out your reddish-orange Blessed Are We religion book and open to page 40. Page 40. So we read these two pages on Tuesday about the sacrament of baptism. Think to yourself, what is special about the sacrament of baptism? You can look on the pages to remind you. The first sacrament we receive is baptism. So it's the first one you receive in the Catholic Church. It fills us with God's life and love, or grace. And it takes away what's called original sin, that sin that you're born with. Baptism takes it all away. And let's remember or recall the 4 important signs of baptism. And let's look at the bottom of page 41. You did this activity. Now you can check your work as we go over it. So we have consecrated oil that the priest uses to bless the forehead of the person receiving baptism. That is this. There's blessed water that the priest pours over the person's head and says, I baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Here's our water. White clothes that the person who receives baptism wears to show that they have a pure, clean heart, that they are becoming new without that original sin. That's right here. And our last sign of baptism, a lighted candle. And that is right here. And the priest gives that to the godparents and says, receive the light of Christ. Go ahead and turn the page. Hear and believe, children of God. So we're going to read a Bible story right now about baptism, so please follow along in your own book. One day, a Roman soldier named Cornelius asked the Apostle Peter to tell him about Jesus. Cornelius was not Jewish, so he had not heard the stories in the Bible. He did not know about God's wonderful creation. He had not heard how many people first disobeyed God, so they didn't listen to God. Peter taught Cornelius and his family about God's love and forgiveness. He told how God had sent Jesus to do good and heal people. Peter said, all who believe in Jesus will receive forgiveness of sins. Remember, baptism forgives that original sin. Then Cornelius asked Peter to baptize him. That day, he and his whole family were baptized. They became Christians. And the story is based on the Acts chapter 10, verses 30 through 48 in the Bible. So remember, on Tuesday I said you don't have to be a baby to receive baptism. You can decide at any time of your life that you want to choose to follow Jesus and follow God. So Cornelius, as we can see in this picture, he's an adult and he's curious and he's asking Peter, tell me about this. I would like to know. And he decides he wants to live his life like that. So he decides, and his family decides, to be baptized, to become Christians. Look at the next page. The heading says, Our Church Teaches. So let's read about what our church teaches. A priest or deacon is the usual minister of baptism. In some cases, anyone may baptize as the church would wish using water and the words of the sacrament. Through baptism, we become the children of God. We receive the Holy Spirit. Can you circle or underline or highlight over that sentence or those two sentences? Through baptism, we become the children of God. We receive the Holy Spirit. Let's look at these words, Holy Spirit. You might recognize this because you say it every day when you're saying the sign of the cross. When you say the sign of the cross, you are talking about the blessed Trinity. Can you say Trinity out loud? Trinity. The Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is God in all three. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They're all connected. So when we receive the sacrament of baptism, we are receiving the Holy Spirit. And in baptism, we begin our new lives as members of the church. When we read about the Holy Spirit or see symbols of it, we often see a flame. We see fire. At baptism, God calls us by name. Write on the candle the name you received at baptism. And even if you haven't received baptism, you are still learning about the Catholic faith, so also write your name. Blank is a child of God. Then turn to the next page. Let's read this together. Bringing light to others. What a great day, thought Rita. My twin baby brothers, Samuel and Joshua, were baptized today. Someday I will tell them all about it. I will tell them about the beautiful Easter candle. It reminds us that Jesus is the light of the world. I will tell them about their godfather, Uncle Al. He lit 2 small candles from the Easter candle for them. See how he has them in his hand? The small candles remind us to keep the light of Jesus alive inside us. They remind us to bring Christ's light to others by our words and actions. Those last 2 sentences are so important. Take a yellow crayon or a pencil or something to mark those. The small candles remind us to keep the light of Jesus alive inside us. They remind us to bring Christ's light to others by our words and actions. Sam and Josh are already bringing light into my life. What are some ways you can bring God's light to others? Remember filling buckets? That brings God's light to others when you're doing those kind actions, saying those kind words. On the next page, there is this activity with a crossword puzzle using the vocabulary words that we learned about the sacrament of baptism. This activity is optional to do since there is another art activity that you are to do today. But I want to show you how to do this. So it says down right here. That means these 3 questions, you'll write the word going down. This says across. So these 3 questions will be written going this way. So number 1, we are all born with original sin. So you would find 1 and write it going down. Sin, and then you'd cross it out. Number 2, baptism is a sign of blank to the church. And remember, this is going down. It's number 2, so it's right here. So we can see it starts with B. Baptism is a sign of belonging to the church. So this is optional to continue this and finish the last 4 sentences. So something that we read on the last page was that Jesus is the light of the world. And through the sacrament of baptism, we receive a candle, and this candle represents the Holy Spirit. And remember, the Holy Spirit is a part of the Trinity. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit as one. That's God. So for your activity today, you are going to complete an art activity with pencil, crayons, and watercolors, and you're going to write this sentence: Jesus is the light of the world. So follow the directions on Seesaw for what to take out, and then you can watch the other video that shows my picture and what I did to make this art activity, and I talked about how to use the watercolors. So go ahead and watch that next once you're ready.